Yeah, for those of you who are watching, it's the evening of the 22nd of December, so everything is a little bit Christmassy and stressful in my life. And I imagine some things are going on for you as well, John.
Yeah.
So let's get to the point then, John Thompson. Let's get serious. So why should people do the circling thing anyway?
Many reasons. I think people can be attracted to it for quite a few different, from quite a few different directions.
Mm-hmm.
I think the thing that attracted me to it was just being very interested in personal development and my own personal growth. I just found circling to be the most powerful thing for helping me see new parts of myself. So my shadow and that kind of things, those things to be seen, but also to have glimpses of whole new possibilities. Like my first few circles just opened up kind of parts of myself that I didn't know existed, new parts that then gradually I started to grow into. So that's one reason to come. If you're interested in just growing and developing yourself, the experience of being in a circle is just so rich for learning about yourself and bringing new possibilities.
Well,
It was the first time I'd ever felt comfortable being anxious in front of people. After about 15 minutes, it just kind of suddenly dawned on me that I felt, oh, this is actually okay. So that anxiety, I think my whole life, like just a subtle background anxiety, but just there was a real sense of it's not okay.
yeah.
And as soon as I was like, this is okay, I'm like an okay human being, I'm feeling this anxiety, but it's okay. It just dissolved and relaxed, and I noticed myself speaking a lot more passionately after that, and people were a lot more engaged. And so it was kind of a big realizations around my energy and how almost like anxiety can be some energy that's contracted. And if I allow it, then it can turn into something new and it can flow and new
Nice.
possibilities come from it.
Yeah.
And I think the process of circling just allows us to open to much more than we normally do. And the benefits of that are normally clear to us and the other people.
Yeah. I'm sat here giggling because I'm just realizing we're kind of doing an interview and I we just kind of jumped into it. Both of us are in the middle of stuff and I'm not sure it's going to be ever a good interview.
Well, I'm thinking it's going all right. Get into it. I've just given the first.
Yeah,
Suddenly, I had these
but
3 points about why people should come, and I've just done the first one.
right, yeah, but I'm not really listening, you see, because I'm thinking about my day.
You're just ruining this perfect interview that I'm never going to be able to reproduce.
That's hilarious. Yeah, yeah, totally.
Point number two.
Yeah,
Right, I'll get serious again now.
yeah, sure.
It's about community, developing relationships, having more connection, getting on better with people, being able to express yourself better, more connection, basically.
Yeah,
That's just the other side. It's maybe more visible and more obvious to people, but all the exercises and the practice itself just inevitably every time people just feel way more connected with everyone by the end, and also feel that they have tools and ideas to then have that more in other situations in their life.
yeah,
So there's kind of new bars get set for what's possible, and then also kind of just, oh yeah, if I own my experience more in this situation, or if I just reveal a bit more what's going on for me in my emotions at the moment, then that's going to give the opportunity for more connection. So there's kind of new ideas that come out so that people can take those away. And then there's the actual felt experiences of crazy levels of connection that normally come through the weekends.
Hmm. And what if I take it out of my weekend and I find out that people in my life don't really want to feel that level of connection? Like
I'm trying to think.
it's scary to them.
Yeah.
Like I was on a date yesterday and I went into a bit of like circling type stuff, and she was like, "Oh, this is getting too intimate. This is too quick." Like she wasn't ready for that.
The thing that comes into my mind is it's like to connect to that.
Hmm.
It's like, what's it then like for you to be with someone who doesn't want to connect to that level?
Hmm.
What was it like?
I felt sad and disappointed that I wouldn't get to play with her in a way that was inspiring to me.
Mm. Did you tell her that?
I left out the sad part, but I said I was disappointed.
Mm. Yeah, so it's like it's we go to these weekend workshops and have these really powerful experiences of connection, and it's not easy when you go back into your everyday life. It's not easy to have that.
Hmm.
And the more you learn about it and the more you get into it, the more opportunities arise. Because maybe that was an opportunity there to deepen connection. Like, what is it in her that doesn't want that? And get curious around that and honor that.
Totally.
But it's easy to say in hindsight.
Uh-huh.
Just a guy on the train today who was serving food and the credit card machine wasn't working, and I looked up at him and I really felt him. I felt the sadness in him, and he was overweight, and it really touched me. Actually, I felt his pain, and I just imagined in his life that there isn't that much room for it. And at the same time, I loved the thought of being able to connect to him there.
Yeah.
It's I mean, it's a constant struggle. Like, I do feel I've made massive progress with these things and with kind of integrating ideas from these weekends and bringing them into life. But the day before, yeah, yesterday, I had massive struggles with it, where I was like, oh, people don't understand me and they don't know what I go through and what I've experienced. And really, it's what I found out in my coaching call today was just like, yeah, there's vulnerability. I was wanting to be special because I'm feeling vulnerable about other things, and I wasn't aware enough to be in touch with that and to share that and to connect from there. So
Mm.
it's just like a constant journey, this stuff of
So
exploration.
why would people want to pay to come to a workshop with us? Like we're sad here and we're having these challenges in life and we don't quite get everything working and
Well, that's one of the things I love most about leading these workshops is the freedom that it gives me to show up as myself.
right.
Even a bit now, like I can feel a bit of tension in my voice, which I'm thinking, oh, I shouldn't have that.
Yeah.
I've done this a while now. It's not going to sound so good,
So
and
you still
I
have a
am a bit
super
uneasy
ego
about
going.
it.
Yeah.
I can still feel a bit uneasy about it, but I know that I'm committed to showing up and being honest as much as I can.
Hmm.
And it's not that, I don't know, I can really speak about how much I've got from this work,
Hmm.
and it's just completely ongoing.
Yeah.
Uh, and people do find it quite refreshing that we show up as leaders in a different way, where yes, we're in a leadership role, but we're going to reveal what's going on for us in a deeper way than is often common in these kind of workshops.
Yeah. Yeah, I find that trustable in a way. Like, oh, you're a real human being, not this perfect chiseled jaw, big biceps, macho guy.
Yeah, my teeth are chattering now.
Yeah.
Now it's like
I'm not phased by life. They're chattering.
they're chattering, yeah, because it's almost like I've allowed that part of me that was not quite okay with it. I feel like you mentioning this and us bringing it in, it's
Yeah,
relieving.
nice. So, having brought in more of our neurosis, maybe we shouldn't get to number three.
Number three, yes. Number three, I would say, is for people who are interested in spirituality, who have maybe done a lot of meditation or
Mm,
other such practices.
right.
I think circling is certainly for me, it's been my by far the most powerful vehicle for having non-normal experiences, spiritual experiences, deeper realizations, uh, rather than sitting on a meditate. I mean, I meditate a lot and I love that. But rather than, we find that people who do come in and do these things, it's quite common to have pretty breakthrough openings. And there's something special about there's the kind of state experience you can have when you're meditating by yourself,
Yeah.
which is beautiful. But for me, there's something about having that with other humans
Uh-huh.
and the interplay of that and the sharing of that and the breaking down of those barriers and the sense of interconnectivity that can come between people that's just so rich.
Yeah. And it seems like it would also be easier to live those insights and realizations and states when they're actually in connection to other people.
Right,
They're
exactly.
already integrated in relationship as they
Exactly.
arise.
Yeah, nice.
Like I
Yeah.
was on this golden leash to my meditation practice,
Mm,
kind of imprisoned by it.
yeah,
And circling is very different in my experience.
yeah. It's like the danger of spiritual bypassing,
Yeah,
of where it kind of deals with that head on because you're in relationship where so many of the it's like where the rubber hits the road.
mm,
So it's like the application of spiritual concepts and ideas, but not just when you're alone, but actually in reality where we're dealing with the real things that come up between us when we relate.
yeah. So
Yeah.
basically, if I have all these nice spiritual ideas when I'm in the safety of my own room, I can actually try them on with
Mm.
other people. It's like, so how spiritual am I really?
Yeah.
Like, how enlightened am I really? And then I just sit down there and everybody's like, you feel kind of distant. I don't feel connected to you. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You unenlightened motherfuckers. And then, it all comes back, all the bypassing, all the arrogance, all the, yeah. Seems to be one of the most potent practices there is for doing shadow work.
Exactly. Yeah, and like a lot of spiritual disciplines talk about like life, your life is the path, and I know I know there's a lot of disciplines talk about including everything, but I don't see many practices that actually go there and actually start from there. They start from what's here right now between us,
Hmm,
rather than starting from a more transcendent place.
right.
It's like more we start from where we are and we shine the light fully on that,
Yeah,
then that can take us into more magical places.
totally. And I gotta say, after the September weekend that we hosted, and that turned out a big success for anyone who wasn't there. Um, I've had access to more powerful spiritual states where, like, at times I have this feeling of almost just dissolving, and then there's just a wave of gratitude just washes over me. And I might be walking down the street, and all of a sudden I don't quite know who I am, but I know that my heart is exploding and tears are flowing down my face, and I'm like, thank you. There's this enormous sense of gratitude that just, the sense that everything is inherently perfect, which isn't like a spiritual new age concept. I'm feeling it in a visceral way. So I can completely resonate with this, like, yeah, spiritual states. that develop into spiritual stage, like a more constant way of being, they seem to happen really easily in circling.
Mhm.
So, is there anything else you want to say before we end this super informal and probably quite rubbish interview?
Oh, I have actually enjoyed it. It's woken me up.
Oh,
Like,
cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
I'm more here too. So,
and yeah, it was an incredibly special weekend in Oslo
mm,
in September. Loved the venue, loved the people who came, and really excited to come and meet new people and meet the same people as well, and work with
yeah,
you closely again.
yeah. And for anyone who doesn't know, I've been in the US for the last couple of months, training to be a circler myself. Um, so my experience with circling is considerably greater than last time. And you've done a lot of work yourselves, and you've been traveling the world and doing workshops in Europe and in the US that have been really well received. So I'm thinking that this this is promising a promising backdrop for maybe an even more powerful weekend this time. And the
Yeah,
Authentic Norway team is really on fire, really loving the practice and really bonding over it and really wanting to bring themselves to it. So yeah. And there are some really interesting people signing up for the workshop too.
yeah. I'm like, I wonder what's going to emerge there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Because each one is so different, and you just don't know. But
hmm
I'm sure it's going to be powerful.
I imagine so. Yeah. Right, John Thompson. Well, your partner Sean isn't here today, but he's gonna be there in January. So say hello to him for me.
Yeah, maybe you can do another little interview with him.
Yeah, maybe. All right. Thanks, John.
Thank you.